Thank you very much.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Fadea. So our first respondent is Dr. Sangeetha Gunasakar from Amrita Global University in India. Dr. Sangeetha is an associate professor in the School of Business, which encompasses tourism, which is a nice connection to your background today. Dr. Sangeetha, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tadej. I think I've got your name correct. Yari, yeah. It was a very nice, lucid presentation of the history of the system thinking. And though we read quite a bit, nobody could give us this beautiful presentation like this. I have a background in economics, and I kind of started working with more of online reviews with my PhD students who really wanted to look at big data stuff. Coming from that, a little bit of academic perspective, which I really wanted to ask you was, what could be some, I've seen your work and I've seen your papers, but it's more on the overcrowding of tourism and that's the current work that you're looking at. But can you suggest some things from your system thinking, which could be interesting questions for our PhD students that they could look forward to, because they're more on a management perspective? And yes, I understand that sustainability is something that they all do it. But then when we try and put forward questions like this, and if we're talking about work which takes a little more time, then they're not very keen on that kind of work. So what are some areas that you think we could take forward from the academic perspective? That's what I would really like to ask.
Of course. Thank you very much for your question. Systems dynamics is a part of systems methodology and describes the interactions among the systems. So systems thinking is, together with systems theory, more like philosophy. Systems theory is philosophy. Systems thinking is also the method, but systems dynamics and cybernetics, we work mostly with models. And the last model that I showed, this is the system dynamics model that actually shows what's happening among the subject or objects within a system. For example, if you have well, on that model, it was the environment. But if you have maybe one of, let's say, Agra. Agra is very, very, let's say, over-visited place in the world. So if you think what happened from the beginning when it was built up to today with masses of tourists, so you can see that nobody thought systemically how to stop tourism. Why? Because it was overcrowded. Tourists, they didn't care more or less where they were walking, what they were doing, and so on. So the systems dynamics prevents this kind of things to happen, because we do the model. And I must tell you, when you build the model, let's say, or create the model, this is a very long, time-consuming stuff. So it's not just like this, you have 3-4 parameters. No. It's really, you have to think. And usually it is very good that you have students, because they have different kinds of knowledge, let's say characters, nature, and so on. And they can do it like maybe even Delphi method, just a very simple Delphi. And but also they can connect and they can build the model. Then they can think how, let's say, maybe GDP of the country can influence upon the infrastructure of tourism object or something, and not maybe tourism tour operators, then other other institutions that are connected to tourism, let's say, or spa tourism, decision makers, politicians. So everyone must be included in this, and they must, with the pluses and minuses, they denote the influence. So either influence is positive, like let's say that it grows. But when we come to the nature, when we come to ecology, when we come to the environment, crowding and so on, here we always have to have the minus, which means that the more tourists are in one wonderful Agra, the less wonderful this Agra will be. So this is the, let's say, terminology that we speak in systems dynamics. And you always have to be aware that minus is not, has not negative connotation. Minus is just the regulation of plus, nothing else. It's, you know, something, what is something too much. You know how I introduce my students to systems thinking? Usually they say, or to system dynamics, they don't know what it is. And then every Tuesday they have some kind of party, students' party. And I tell them, look, you are going to the students' party and you drink one glass of wine and maybe another glass of wine and another a beer and plus and plus and plus. And what comes maybe at midnight or at 1 o'clock? The big minus, which means that, why? Because every natural systems strive to be in homeostasis, and our bodies strive to be in homeostasis. So to get rid of this alcoholic poison, actually they have to vomit some or the other way. Otherwise they can just collapse, die. So, and then they understand. It's a little bit, let's say, also the icebreaker, because systems thinking is not very easy to teach, because we were taught to think separately, to divide things. Our educational systems are like this. And people think of themselves, what would be good for me, and not for someone else. So this is actually correcting their mind. But we cannot correct anything unless they feel it from within their hearts, that they are the part of nature, that they are not separated from nature, but that we are all part of nature, and whatever happens to us, it will happen to them.
So today, well, let's go on to the next respondent. Yeah. Thank you for that, Dr. Sangeeta. So our next respondent is Dr. Manish Kumar, who's professor and head of the sustainability cluster at IUPUI in India. Dr. Manish.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank IUPUI and Jan, the team, the Hillary team, because this is a great opportunity to learn. And this global conversation, I have attended a few, and this is very unique in terms. And Jacqueline, you have just added another star to this entire consortium and idea. This is, I'm from engineering and science, and if I understand this initially, I liked when you talked a structure of the problem. I mean, the systematic thinking is something. So a structure, it is, I am heading civil engineering. Okay, it comes to me very easily. But then first time ever, I could realize that, yeah, this is nice. We want to see the problem, but not a structure of the problem. So that is one of the things that I would like to congratulate and thank you for adding this to my vocabulary and also understanding. In environmental science, we say ecosystem. Ecosystem can be as smaller as a leaf. There is a leaf ecosystem, tree ecosystem, forest ecosystem. It's all about the vision that we want to take. And that's where the systematic thinking also talks about this. I have been a great, the admirer or great supporter of including traditional ecological knowledge. Traditional ecological knowledge, where you said that plus of the West and best of the East and West can produce the amalgam of the something that we need. And thank you for taking the example of Agra, but I can also think of Eiffel Tower, one of the visited thing, and I saw that what is happening there. And true that we just want to, when we are at the venue of the Eiffel Tower, we just want to go to the top floor and just try to finish our that goal and just come back. So my question is, and this is also related to plastic pollution also, which is coming in a bigger way in ocean and in everywhere. So my rather your advice that how to include this system dynamics or systemic thinking as a curriculum or as a course or as a activities. Of course, there are many for engineering and science graduates, especially the undergrads and like that. Of course, your example of this alcohol thing was also there, but this goes with Sangeeta's question. Actually, this is aligned with her question that how can we introduce it as a really a well-made thing, and what will be the ingredients for that? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your question. Well, I will answer with my praxis. Actually, I teach tourism systems at the Faculty of Tourism Studies, postgrad and in a doctoral degree as well. And within the tourism systems, they receive all this knowledge. Because I will not teach them tour operators, but I will teach them the connectivities, the connections, interconnections among all of them, and the nature and the thinking. So actually that they start to see it's the life-changing. It's not just the tourism systems, they will see everything. They will see the whole, not only as a tourism as a whole, but the planet as a whole at the end of semester. So maybe civil engineering systems or something, and you can include this knowledge within the different or certain topics. Just the systems, just add the systems, tourism systems. It's with me. Maybe you could have a civil engineering systems or some kind, and you will see with systems you must be very aware, because we must somewhere we must put the borders. And it's so difficult to stand the borders because everything is so connected. But for the research area, we must